blood rituals, tentacle monsters, and a possessed girl who needs more than just a timeout. The new haunted cartoon from the Rick and Morty team hides a massive secret, and one tiny background detail in the trailer actually spoils the entire show's endgame. Let's break it down. Let's be real, Netflix wants you to know this show is from the same people who made Rick and Morty. The trailer basically shouts it from the rooftops. And it's not just for show. The team behind Haunted Hotel is full of people who worked on that huge hit. The show's creator is Matt Roller, a writer who came up with some of the best Rick and Morty episodes. Dan Harmon and Steve Levy are helping to lead the project, and Erica Hayes, who was the first female director for Rick and Morty, is in charge of how the show looks and feels. You could totally see this connection in every second of the trailer. The animation, which is done by the amazing Titmouse Studio, the same people who did Big Mouth, has that same fun, slightly weird look that's perfect for fast action and really funny, sometimes gross jokes. The humor is exactly what you'd expect. It's a mix of super fast talking, spooky horror, and some pretty deep thoughts about people and, ghosts. The trailer for Haunted Hotel is a wild 2-minute ride into pure craziness that barely lets you catch your breath. It's like a tornado of ghosts, goopy stuff, and family arguments that feels both super familiar to fans of this creative team and also brand new. But if you look past all the wild action on the surface, there's a whole bunch of hidden clues that show what this series is really about. We're going to break down this trailer piece by piece and find all the secret hints to figure out what spooky mysteries are hiding in the halls of the Undervale Hotel. But first, you have to meet the family living in this nightmare, and let's just say they have more problems than just ghosts. The trailer kicks off by showing us the main characters, the Freeling family, and they are definitely not your average TV family. First up is Catherine, a super stressed out single mom who just got this hotel. She's trying her best to raise her 2 kids. There's Ben, who seems like a pretty normal kid, and then there's Esther, who is, let's just say, a little bit strange. All this while she's trying to run a hotel that's basically falling apart. But here's the big twist. The hotel isn't just old and creaky, it's crawling with ghosts, and to make things even crazier, Catherine's brother Nathan is one of them. Now, Nathan isn't your usual spooky ghost that just rattles chains. He's a lazy, troublemaking spirit who actually thinks the other ghosts have some great ideas for the hotel. This whole setup is where all the funny and messy stuff in the show comes from. It's like a show about working at a hotel, but it's also a horror movie with a super messy family right in the middle of it all. The trailer gives us a little taste of this, with Catherine trying to keep things going from completely bonkers, while Nathan is busy telling the ghosts to go wild. This family has some serious issues, but the real chaos comes from the people who made the show, and you can see their fingerprints all over this thing. The trailer for Haunted Hotel is amazing at switching things up on you. 1 second, it feels like a classic scary movie with dark hallways and flickering lights. The next second, it's a total mess with red stuff and goo flying everywhere. And then, just as fast, it changes again to a really funny moment between the characters. It's in this jumble of spooky and silly that you can really see what makes this show special. Here are some of the best moments from the trailer that show off this awesome mix. First, there's the possessed daughter. We see a quick clip of Esther, the daughter, literally destroying the ceiling. Her eyes are pitch black and her voice sounds like a monster. Her brother Ben just calmly asks his mom, "Mother, was Esther baptized?" Catherine's tired reply of, "No," is the perfect joke, making this scary supernatural moment all about how tired parents are. And you can't forget the tentacle monster. A giant monster with tons of tentacles, straight out of a scary storybook, is shown smashing up the hotel lobby. But instead of running away screaming, the family is more worried about the mess it's making. In this world, spooky monsters are just another part of the workday, another problem to solve for a family just trying to run a business. These gags are great, but if you look closer, you'll find some hidden secrets that tell a much bigger story. This trailer is so full of quick little details that you could watch it 10 times and still not see everything. But if you really pay attention, you can spot a few cool hidden things and possible clues about the show. For starters, the family's last name is Freeling. This is almost for sure a shout out to the Freeling family from the famous 1982 scary movie Poltergeist. This probably means the show will be full of jokes and references to classic horror movies, even when it's making fun of them. You can see the general chaos reminiscent of that film throughout the trailer. The name of the hotel, the Undervale, is also a smart little joke. A vale is another word for a valley, so the name suggests a place that is both a location and also something under our world, where all spooky stuff happens. It also kind of sounds like the Overlook Hotel from The Shining, which is another super famous haunted hotel in movies. Truth be told, the trailer isn't just showing us a haunted hotel, it's revealing an entire supernatural ecosystem. This isn't one type of ghost, it's a whole monster mash, strongly suggesting we're in for a wild ride through every horror genre imaginable. It's all there if you look closely at the ghoulish guest list. We see classic movie monsters like a howling werewolf and a shambling zombie. The threat then goes cosmic with a giant slimy tentacle monster straight out of a Lovecraft story wrecking the lobby. The horror deepens with a key demon named Abaddon. The introduction to Abaddon is pure comedic genius and tells you everything you need to know about the show's tone. When Catherine lists her biggest problems, she puts Abaddon right alongside no guests, framing him not as a supernatural threat, but as a daily managerial headache. The show immediately explains the high concept joke. He's a powerful demon trapped in the body of a little boy from the 1700s. But the punchline is what makes it brilliant. The ancient entity of evil doesn't demand souls or eternal servitude. He demands Fruit Loops. This tiny scene perfectly captures the show's core comedic engine, grounding cosmic horror in the most mundane, relatable problems. Abaddon's demonic nature is completely overshadowed by his childishness. Catherine's response isn't fear or an exorcism. It's the exasperated sigh of a parent dealing with a picky eater, firmly telling him, it's Cheerios or nothing. Abaddon isn't a villain to be vanquished. He's another kid in Catherine's chaotic household that she has to manage. He perfectly represents the show's idea that even the most terrifying demons become just another part of the family dysfunction once you have to live with them. There are even aquatic terrors like a ghostly anglerfish, and in one of the wildest scenes, a ghost intimate party. These glimpses aren't just random jokes, they're a promise. The creators are telling us that this show will explore every corner of the horror genre. You see, the trailer moves so fast that it's easy to miss some of the best details, but when you hit pause, you realize the hotel is basically a giant party for famous horror icons. The creators have packed this thing with references, and just to mention a few Easter eggs, the ghosts themselves are amazing shoutouts to scary movie history. For example, that spooky looking guy with a burlap sack over his head, seen around the 18-second mark, that's a perfect tribute to the classic slasher villain Jason Voorhees from the movie Friday the 13th Part 2. It was his very first look before he got his famous hockey mask, so it's a really cool detail for true horror movie fans. Then you have the Skeletal Bride. With her bony face, long flowing veil, and a bouquet of dead flowers, she looks like she stepped right out of an old spooky fairy tale. It's a classic image that brings to mind famous characters like the Corpse Bride, a ghostly figure that has been part of ghost stories for ages. The one who might really give you the creeps is that tall, shadowy figure in a hat with glowing red eyes who pops up at the 28-second mark. That's a direct reference to a modern spooky legend called the Hat Man, a shadow person that people online claim to see when they experience sleep paralysis, usually through use of Benadryl. It shows the creators are digging into internet legends, not just old movies. But not all the ghosts are scary. Those bright, colorful, swirly ghosts that fly around Ben at the 30-second mark have a totally different vibe. They feel like they came from something fun and goofy like Casper the Friendly Ghost or Ghostbusters. This is a huge clue that the show will be just as funny as it is spooky, mixing real scares with lighthearted fun. Looking at these clues together, it feels like the Undervale Hotel isn't just haunted, it's a prison. Every monster, demon, and ghost we see in the trailer looks like they're being pulled into one place for a reason. That ritual symbol hidden in the background could mean the hotel was built as a supernatural cage, and now the Freelings are stuck running it. Which raises the real question, are they in control of the hotel? Or is the hotel in control of them? Haunted Hotel looks like it's going to be an amazing follow-up from the minds behind Rick and Morty. It's a show made for people who love dark, smart humor, and it's not afraid to get a little weird and push the limits of what you can do in a cartoon. The trailer promises a series that is both super funny and super spooky. A show that will make you laugh out loud, jump out of your seat, and maybe even care about its messed up, very human characters. The series is coming to Netflix on September 19th, and if this trailer is anything to go by, it's going to be one of the biggest and most talked about cartoons of the year. So get your stuff packed, maybe bring some holy water, and get ready to check out the Undervale Hotel. Just, maybe don't plan on getting much sleep. It's going to be a wild ride. So do you think the Freeling family can survive the Undervale, or will the hotel consume them? Drop your theory below, and don't forget, I'll be breaking down every episode once Haunted Hotel drops, so hit subscribe if you don't want to miss it.